So, Exodus episode 3. The idea that the Bible is only a patriarchal book is a fallacy. In fact, many women are strong characters in Bible narratives, including Egyptian women. Jordan and his roundtable expound upon this topic in chapters 3 through 6 of Exodus. Other topics include order and chaos, Moses' relationship with the divine, and God's transcendent quality that brings about unified consciousness.
Yes. Yeah, it seems to me that they've been kind of driving that point home quite a bit about women being really some of the more heroic characters, especially just in the beginning of the Bible. Because yeah, I think it is a what's the word? It's not common knowledge, but there's a word for it that's way better than that. But I would say a lot of people believe that it's a very patriarchal, but like in an unhealthy way kind of book. So they have been driving that home a lot. I don't know if that's even relevant to anything, but.
Yeah, and that reminds me, I sent this video of that rationality rules guy who was he was criticizing Dennis Prager a lot.
Oh yeah, I have to watch that. Yeah.
And that was very interesting. Like he made a lot of valid points, but then as you say that, I'm also realizing, I mean, there's still, and that would get us to like, I guess, some definition of what is patriarchy even, like, and then we get quickly into cultural stuff, like the patriarchy is so negatively, there's so much negative, like the word has so many negative connotations these days, when there's actually a lot of good stuff in there that we are like missing if we want to just abolish or destroy the patriarchy. We are destroying a lot of things that actually build all the civilization, which is often forgotten. Like, yeah.
I just wanted to look it up really quick, like patriarchy, a system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is the head of the family and the descendant is traced through the male line. So it's pretty like, I don't know, pretty vanilla in what it technically is. It's just saying the father, the eldest male, is the head of the family. Well, okay, what does that mean? In scripture, it talks about how the husband is the head, but the wife is the neck. And it's very interesting because in OPS terms, it makes me think of the masculine, feminine, like labels, because if the masculine is the immovable or the more solid, and then the feminine is what moves, what kind of has that flexibility, or it's just a little bit more willing to shift. To me, it's just like the head is on top. I don't like, it's just, visually it makes sense. And you do need that groundedness of the masculine energy, I suppose, too. So yeah, it is interesting that people, and maybe it's just a lot of observers too, just like blaming the patriarchy for things that individual people are being not so good at, I'm going to say. There's some other things that went through my head, but I'm being nice. So yeah, I don't know. It is interesting that that's something that people want to throw down, but I'm like, just because someone is the head doesn't mean they're the ones that are making all the decisions. Often in a good marriage, especially, it's a joint venture, and the feminine energy is very important because it helps you to literally, you turn your neck to see. The feminine energy helps you to look around and to be aware of how, kind of like that big picture type thing too. So
yeah, there's a lot in there. I don't even know where to start. Like the first thing that came up, or the second thing, but that stands out to me most now, is also like there's generally, and this is true with type 2, like there's the negative stuff stands out more because people talk more about the negative sides of things. Like if people complain about certain types being certain ways, then it's mostly first of all about the negative behavior. It's like with reviews. Someone who's happy doesn't complain, and then nothing happens. And this, what I also wrote down is like the masculine, feminine, like the masculine is almost like a container. So if we see patriarchy as this container where then the feminine side can flow, then it's not necessarily like there's no like distinction of good and bad. It's just one thing is more of a container, which I see the masculine as, and like the other thing is more of what flows through the container. And then you can think about, okay, what is more powerful, whether neither and both, like it's
Right.
like both are powerful. One flows through the container and one is the container. I guess, yeah, there's a certain way of looking at it, like the container is the more powerful because it provides the box or something. But that's what the masculine does more, I think. And yeah, that's what
Yeah,
came up
well,
for
it's
me.
interesting, like going with your container analogy. It is what gives the direction. Like if we're visualizing the feminine energy as being water, for example, if you don't have something to contain it, then it just goes everywhere and it sinks into the ground or it evaporates, and then it's of no use. I mean, you have to have that balance. I mean, that's why we have two of each, type of function. We have a masculine, feminine. They balance each other out, on our observers and our deciders.